I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shri Krishna, the Personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. I have a very nice cheat sheet here. If you don't have one, maybe we can ask Nikunja Vilasini to print some more. These are really awesome. Okay, so let's chant together. I chant and you respond, please. Kachite namayam tata Prashtateja vibhasime Alabda manovakyata Kim vatata chiroshitam Kachite namayam tatam Prashtateja vibhasime Alabda manavakyata Kim vatata chiroshitam Kachite namayam tata Prashtateja vibhasime Alabda manavakyata Kim vatata chiroshitam Don't put extra pressure. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. Okay, word by word. Kachit. Weather. Te. Your. Anamayam. Health is all right. Tata. My dear brother. Brashta. Bereft. Bereft. Teja. Luster. Vipasi. Appear. Me. To me. Alabdhamana. Without respect. Avagyata. Neglected. Kim. Weather. Va. Or. Tata. My dear brother. Chiroshita. Because of long residence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My brother Arjuna, please tell me whether your health is all right. You appear to have lost your bodily luster. Is this due to others disrespecting and neglecting you because of your long stay in Dwarka? Purport. From all angles of vision, the Maharaj inquired from Arjuna about the welfare of Dwarka. But he concluded at last that as long as Lord Sri Krishna himself was there, nothing inauspicious could happen. But at the same time, Arjuna appeared to be bereft of his bodily luster, and thus the king inquired of his personal welfare and asked so many vital questions. Verse 40. Kachinna bhihato bhavai shabda dipira mangalai nadatam uktam artibhyam ashayayat pratishrutam. Translation. Has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked? Or could you not keep your promise to someone? Purport. A kshatriya, or a rich man, is sometimes visited by persons who are in need of money. When they are asked for a donation, it is the duty of the possessor of wealth to give in charity in consideration of the person, place, and time. If a kshatriya or a rich man fails to comply with this obligation, he must be very sorry for this discrepancy. Similarly, one should not fail to keep his promise to give in charity. These discrepancies are sometimes causes of despondency, and thus failing, a person becomes subjected to criticism, which might also be the cause of Arjuna's plight. Text 41. Kachitvam brahmanam balam gamridam raginam striyam sharanopasritam sattvam natyakshik sharana pradam. Translation. You are always the protector of the deserving living beings, such as brahmanas, children, cows, women, and the diseased. Could you not give them protection when they approached you for shelter? Purport. The brahmanas, who are always engaged in researching knowledge for the society's welfare work both materially and spiritually, deserve the protection of the king in all respects. Similarly, the children of the state, the cow, the diseased person, the woman, and the old man specifically require the protection of the state or a kshatriya king. If such living beings do not get protection by the kshatriya or the royal order or by the state, it is certainly shameful for the kshatriya or the state. If such things had actually happened to Arjuna, Maharaj Yudhishthira was anxious to know about these discrepancies. Okay, let us say the prayers glorifying the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all the devotees of the Lord. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Danati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Shcham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Peksha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshware Rishabhanam Sudevi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, chapter 14 is entitled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. And since it's almost the end of the chapter, we have just a few verses left, I wanted to kind of go over the whole chapter a little bit. I'm going to base my my talk today on the class given by my spiritual master, His Holiness Romapad Swami, on this chapter. So I pray for His mercy so that I can speak something of benefit without adding anything or subtracting anything substantial. So the chapter starts with some. It starts like a horror movie to me. It starts like a horror movie. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, having been waiting for Arjuna for like 7 months, right? While Arjuna went to Dwarka to see Lord Krishna. So during that time, Maharaj Yudhishthira started noticing some very inauspicious things happening, some omens. And some of them, I don't know if you remember, they sound pretty scary to me. It's like a horror movie, like I'm saying. So he says, the left side of my body starts quivering. All of a sudden, I'm having heart palpitations due to fear. Some useful animals like cows start passing me on my which side? Left or right? So that's considered inauspicious, right? Then the lower animals start, like donkeys, right? Start circumambulating me. And in general, the population, the people, start becoming more greedy, angry, deceitful, and they accept foul means of livelihood. And foul means of livelihood probably includes slaughtering animals, alcohol, drugs, prostitution, all those things that are considered foul means of livelihood. Because they, entice others to commit sins. What else? The clouds start raining bloody disasters. The winds start blowing wildly. So all of those things, the passing of the time has changed. So all of that really creates a lot of suspension, I feel like. And we can experience these things now, definitely, because those things signify the disappearance of Lord Krishna, and thus beginning of Kali Yuga. Hello. So Maharaj Yudhishthira was understanding those signs. So he was anxiously expecting for Arjuna to come back so that he could, either confirm or not. However, there was already a prophecy by Narada Muni that Krishna would disappear, and that's going to be the end of the good times. So anyways, while Yudhishthira was talking with Bhimasen, about all these things, Arjuna came back. Okay, so he touched the feet of his elder brother, Maharaj Yudhishthira, and what happened with Arjuna, with this mighty, extremely handsome, powerful Kshatriya, he looked very digested or upset, extremely. He lost his bodily luster. His head was down and eyes were rolling from his eyes. Tears were rolling from his eyes. Not eyes rolling from his... Yeah, tears were rolling from his eyes. And he's like a super powerful personality. So Maharaj Yudhishthira started inquiring, asking all kinds of questions, trying to understand what caused that situation. So he starts with questions about the residents of Dwarka city. He asks about this and that. How's this doing? How's that doing? I'm doing okay. Is everything okay? So in purports, Srila Prabhupada chooses to talk about all these personalities, saying that some of them are direct, expansions and expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is called Vishnu Tattva, right? So all of those eternal associates that travel with Lord Krishna everywhere he goes, right? He comes to the material world, and before he comes, actually, all of those personalities take birth, and they set up the scene, the place for the Leelas, and then Krishna comes down to the material world. So all those are actually, as good as the Supreme Personality of God himself. His plenary extension, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, of course, Lord Balaram, the protector of all devotees. He's the first expansion. So, and some of the great personalities who are in the category of Jiva Tattva, so those are, the souls, the Jiva souls, like us. The only difference is that they are liberated. They're completely conscious, Krishna conscious, liberated. So therefore, they are just as good as the Lord. And it's Uddhava and other friends, eternal friends of Lord Shri Krishna. So asking about their welfare, actually, why would Maharaj Yudhishthira ask those questions? Obviously, the eternal associates of the Lord who constantly associate with him and render pure devotional service to the Lord, they are all doing great. They are totally blissful, knowledgeable, eternal. They have no worries. They enjoy unlimited opulence. Why? Because of their intimate relationship with the Lord. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes how wonderful and powerful and beautiful all those residents of Dwarka are. And he compares them with the residents of Vaikuntha planets, right? And the residents of Vaikuntha planets, they are doing very well. And I read that the description, it just really kind of struck me how in all those Vaikuntha planets, all the residents look just like Vishnu, right? Vishnu form. They are four-armed, they're beautiful, powerful, kind and compassionate, and they are completely Krishna conscious because they are engaged 100% in the service of the Lord. And they have no fear, no lamentation. They are eternal, ever youthful, and they just enjoy serving the Lord there eternally. How different that is from us, from here. I was thinking, it's just like, sky and earth. It's incredible how powerful that reading about them hearing about them is because it gives us a perspective. This is, how it should be. This is our eternal position. And somehow, this way or the other, we are here. And I don't know about any of you here. Maybe somebody's having a really good time in living in this material world, enjoying different opulences. But just speaking for myself, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here, and I don't want to experience fear, anger, greed, lust, all those things. And why do I have them in the first place? Because I forgot about my eternal loving relationship with the Lord. That's why I'm here. Anyway, so those residents of Dwarka are just like, Vaikuntha residents. They're enjoying unlimited opulence, power, knowledge, and they're just completely engaged in service of the Lord. And they don't actually want those. They don't want to enjoy those things. Although they have all of that. And we have here, Srila Prabhupada describes the queens of Dwarka headed by Satyabhama, how opulent their palaces were. They were like all filled with the gemstones that were illuminating the palaces. You didn't have the need for electricity or air conditioning, so it was naturally cool, pleasant, fragrant, and extremely opulent. So all those queens, and there were 16,000 something of them, they all enjoyed that. However, that was not their desire to enjoy. Their desire was to serve Lord Krishna personally. That's what they did as Krishna's wives. And that's why they had unlimited everything, because they were serving the unlimited Lord Krishna. Right? Even Satyabhama, when she wanted to get a parijata tree, a parijata flower from the heavenly planets, Krishna got her one, even though he had to fight with Indra, because Indra wasn't happy. He said, no, sorry, that's just for the heavenly planets. You cannot have a parijata flower in the material world. But guess what? Who is the servant and who is the master? So there was a fight, and guess who won? Krishna! Krishna won, he got the flower. So Satyabhama had it in her palace. And then there was another mentioning of this beautiful assembly hall, Sudharma, that was also forcibly taken by the members of the Yadu family from the heavenly planets to put in Dwarka. So they enjoyed that unlimited power because they were servants of Krishna, and their desire was to please Krishna. So they were eager to do anything and everything, whatever, to just please Krishna. So that's the point that I wanted to make. So basically inquiring about their welfare, it was the answer was obvious. Nothing bad could have happened with them while Lord Krishna was there, because they were his eternal associates. So after asking those questions, Maharaj Yudhishthira was like, okay, so there must be something with you, Arjuna. So let me see what could have happened with my dear brother, Tata. Tata is the dear brother, right? So he starts asking, Arjuna, is your health all right? Okay, you are the most powerful kshatriya, and you defeated so many demigods and everything. Are you okay? Or is it that you were disrespected? And then he starts asking questions about the duties and responsibilities of a kshatriya and a householder, right? Those that are, we all have different duties. And failing to fulfill our duty, whatever duty we have, should be a cause of despondency. So, as a kshatriya, Arjuna was supposed to give in charity and give protection to those who came asking for it. And Srila Prabhupada talks about charity in the purport, it's important for anyone who has certain amount of wealth, who is able to give in charity, to actually do so. So being a grihasta, being a kshatriya, it was the duty to give in charity. And the failure to do so can cause problems. For example, if you remember the story of Drupad and Dronacharya, right? So Drupad, they were friends, right? They were friends, good friends. And then there was a promise. So Dronacharya is a Brahmin, Drupad, Kshatriya. There was a promise of charity. So when the time came and Dronacharya came to his former best friend asking for, you promised something back then, and Drupad didn't want to keep his promise. He felt a little puffed up by his, position as a king and everything, so he said, get out of here. But you promised, get out of here. So, and that's what happened. What happened with Drupad, he actually lost all his kingdom, and then just by mercy, he got half of it back. But that's a good example of what happens when we don't keep our promise to give in charity. And what happens when we do keep that promise? There's another story. I forgot the name of the Maharaj, who was very famous, very, very famous for being very charitable. And that's why a lot of people would come to him, because they knew he would give in charity. So there was a long fast, right? And at the end of the fast, they cooked, a feast, tons of beautiful, wonderful prasadam. And then Maharaj, whatever his name was, he just about sat down and just kind of opened his mouth and took a spoonful. And there was a knock on the door. Okay. So he got up, he went, opened the door, there was a Brahmana. And the Brahmana said, dear sir, I'm very hungry. Do you have anything for me? Sure. So immediately this Maharaj, this king, he set the Brahmana on his throne and he offered him all that opulent prasadam. And, Brahman ate, to his satisfaction, and he left. And there was something left. So Maharaj said again, he just opened his mouth, took a spoonful, and there was another knock on the door. Okay, he opened the door. There is some person with dogs. Oh, my dear sir, I'm so sorry, my dogs are very hungry. Do you have anything? Sure. Come, okay, he fed the dogs. Fed the master of the dogs. Okay, they're gone. Still there's something left, right? And again he sat down and he was ready to break his fast, and somebody else came, some mendicant, and then somebody else, and eventually there was nothing left. There was nothing left, so I just thought, if that was me, I would be very angry. I would be so angry. But that pure soul, that king, he was actually happy. He was so joyful, and he prayed to the Lord saying, oh my dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing me to serve your parts and parcels and actually giving me the means to serve them. I have the wealth, I have the money, I have food, prasadam, so thank you so very much. I'm so happy. And then it turned out that all those, the Brahmana, the person with dogs, the mendicant, they are all demigods in disguise, like Shiva, Brahma, so on, who came to test this Maharaj's patience and his ability to give charity. So that's a nice example of, and of course he got all the benedictions, and not like he wanted them, but he already had everything. But he increased his love for Krishna. So that was the best gift. Anyways, we're almost out of time. So Maharaj Yudhishthira keep asking, so okay, your health is okay, all right. Did somebody disrespected you? Maybe you overstayed a little bit in Dwarka, 7 months. Maybe somebody was thinking, okay, all right, it's nice to have a visitor, but, it's about time. Okay, and then maybe you were defeated by someone who was equal or inferior. So for a kshatriya, that's a big thing. And that could be definitely a cause of despondency. For example, if Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, if Arjuna was defeated by Bhishmadev, and Krishna saved him, that was okay because Bhishmadev was like far more superior. But losing to someone who is equal or inferior, that's shameful for a kshatriya. And this is exactly what happened actually, and Arjuna is going to talk about it in the next chapter, because he was not able to protect Krishna's queens, and he lost to some gang of I don't know who, some dacoits. So that was really, really a big, blow at his, reputation as a kshatriya. But who cares? Krishna was gone, so what does it matter? So basically, after asking all these questions about the duties and responsibilities, which the point is that we should care for that. We have duties and responsibilities. By fulfilling them in the mood of service, we purify ourselves. That's the karma yoga. But eventually, our main responsibility and duty is to go back home, back to Godhead. And how do we do that? By rendering devotional service. So after all of those questions, Maharaj Yudhishthira was like, okay, and there was other questions about women and not taking care of the elderly and children, which is also a duty. And after all, there was that question, the final question. Well, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything that could make you feel like that, Arjuna, other than losing your best friend, your best, most intimate friend, Lord Shri Krishna. And that loss cannot be rectified anyhow, by failing to fulfill our duty, responsibility. There are ways that, we can work it out. But losing connection with Lord Krishna in our heart, that is the cause of all despondency. So what do we do? So Krishna, he left the planet. What are we left with? We're left with Krishna.